Hey, Okie Tools here, and this is going to be my video replacing the outer tie rods on my Dodge Ram 1500. It's a 2007, but this is applicable for model years 2006, 2007, and 2008. So I had been doing some front-end work on my Ram, including doing my struts and my upper ball joints. Take a look at those videos. I already posted those. And I was hoping to get away with not having to do my tie rods right away, but it turns out I'm going to have to go ahead and do them. So I've just decided to go ahead and order them like I did and go ahead and knock them out. And I decided to order Moogs. I really like Moog products, and I'll show you why here in a second. It's the front right one that's giving me an issue. This one right here is from the driver's side. I already did that side, and I decided to do them in pairs, which is a good idea. So I'm going to do the driver's side, even though it's the passenger side that was really giving me the problem. So as you can see, there's the old one, and then here's the new Moog. There's a lot of benefits of going with one of these, such as you can see from the old one, there's not a grease cert, but this one will have one on the Moog. And it also comes with a castellated nut in this package, and a cotter pin for that, which is a little bit nicer than the factory one that just has sort of this locking fastener. And to me, they're just a little bit stouter than the ones I'm taking off. Like I said, this one wasn't giving me a whole lot of trouble there on the driver's side, but the passenger side I'm getting ready to take off was the culprit. So it's good to be replacing both of them, so both of them will be greasable, and they'll last a lot longer. Okay, so got the truck jacked up, and got the wheel off here, and I'm going to show you the tie rod. This is the passenger side tie rod I was telling you about. As you can see, that's not supposed to do that. The inner tie rod is fine, but the outer tie rod is all worn out and needs to be replaced. It is keeping the vehicle from being aligned after I replaced those and those. So now that I replace this, and on the other side as well, it should be good to go. Okay, your first order of business is to bust that nut right there loose. Okay, you just want to loosen it. You don't want to make it go too far up there, because it makes a nice stopping point for the tie rod. So you just want to bust it loose so you can get it off when you get it off of here. Now the next order of business is to get that nut off. So it is on mine a 13/16. Now the factory original is 13/16. From what I found out about the other side, putting the new Moog on, it is a different size. It's metric, 21 millimeter. And so just be aware of that. Yours may vary. Also be aware of, sometimes these will free spin on you. So I'll have to take a look at this one once I get it down and see if it's free spinning. But you just clip on this in here with a pair of vice grips, and use a proper size wrench, and you can get it off that way without having to use a socket or a ratchet. There's a couple different ways to get it out. Use a pickle fork, something like that, but for me I like to use a BFH. And since mine had already come out earlier from replacing my struts and everything, this should come out a lot easier. But you can give it a little tap here, just kind of loosen it up, and then give it a nice whack like that. It'll pop right up out of there. Okay, something I learned from YouTube is to go ahead and count your turns to get off. That way when you put your new one on, you can count the same number of turns putting it back on, and that way it won't be too far out of alignment for when you actually drive it to the shop to get in alignment. Like so, this would be 1 all the way around, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. And I've done that before with my my old Chrysler minivan, and it made it to where it wasn't so far out of alignment, so it was real easy to drive it to the alignment shop to get a final alignment on it. So there we got it off and cleaned up the threads and everything, and like I said, the the inner ones are fine. There's no unusual movement in them, so that's good. And like I said, they're in pretty good shape, and the boots and everything on them are in good shape. So we got the new one here, the new Moog. So we're going to go ahead and thread it on, and it's going to be the same procedure, just in reverse, counting wise, I mean. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Okay, so as you can see, got the new Moog in place there, and got it down in and got the castle nut on it. So it's just a a process of wiggling this back and forth, the rotor and knuckle and everything, wiggling back and forth until it gets down in there and then pushes in all the way. It's got to be seated well in there, and you want it to all be nice and lined up. So the torque on these, according to what I've read, is 45 foot-pounds, and you are not supposed to back the castle nut off to align the cotter pin. I believe you're supposed to go to the next cancellation, but be aware and be careful so you don't over torque yours or anything like that. I didn't have no trouble on the other side, and never had any trouble out of the other ones I've put on other vehicles that I've had that I used Moogs with before. So this is, as I said, a 21 millimeter. Okay, there you go. That's 45 foot-pounds. And let me take a look at it, see where cancellation is. It looks like I might have to go just a tad more to get it lined up, but that's no big deal. So there you go, got it in, got it torqued good, got the grease zerd in, and I don't know how well you can see it, but got the cotter pin down there through there. Moog sends you a cotter pin with it, and I've gotten other Moogs, like my upper ball joints and stuff like that, and they sent great cotter pins, but this time for some reason with these they were a lot smaller than the actual hole calls for, and they just weren't very long. So I had some cotter pins sitting around that I've used before on projects like this, so I just replaced those using mine. So any hardware store will have them. Mine were just a little bit bigger and a little bit longer, and they seem to be in there more positively than the ones that came from Moog, in my opinion, but that's just me. I like to grease mine as well. They come pre-greased from Moog, but they are minimally done, just so that you aren't bellowed out in the package or anything, and you have to put the grease zerd in yourself. And I like to use some products from Valvoline, and just be aware it will come out here on top and bottom on you if you put too much in, but no big deal, you just wipe it off. That's actually how it gets the old grease out when you do go to grease them. Just be sure to clean them real well and keep it away from your brake rotor. So other than greasing it and putting the wheel back on and properly torquing the lug nuts, it's time to go to oh, do not forget, sorry for the jerkiness, do not forget to tighten that bolt down. And I don't quite know the torque on it, I just really snug mine up. They're going to have to bust it loose anyways for when they adjust it at the alignment shop, which is where you need to go to next after you get it all together. Take it in, get it good in alignment. And if you're like me, you're doing a couple different components like the strut and the upper ball joint and these, you can get them all aligned at the same time after you get them all replaced. So knock all those kinds of things out and then take them in and get it aligned at one time. So this was my video doing the outer tie rods on my Dodge Ram 1500. It is applicable for model years 2006, 2007, and 2008. Thanks for watching.